In the small, seemingly peaceful town of Willowbrook, a foreboding sense of unease hung in the air. It was a place where everyone knew each other's names, and secrets were buried deep within the roots of ancient trees. But in the summer of 2019, an inexplicable darkness descended upon this serene community. It all began with a series of vivid and terrifying nightmares that plagued young Emma Turner. She was an ordinary teenager, known for her bright smile and vibrant personality. But beneath that facade of normalcy, a growing fear was slowly consuming her. The nightmares started innocently enough. In her dreams, Emma found herself in an eerie forest. Tall, twisted trees loomed overhead, their branches clawing at the night sky. The wind whispered with chilling voices, and the air was thick with an otherworldly dread. Each night, the nightmares became more vivid and unsettling. Emma would wake up in a cold sweat, her heart pounding like a drum. She tried to dismiss them as mere products of teenage anxiety, but she couldn't shake the feeling that something sinister lurked in the shadows of her dreams. Part 2: The Unsettling Encounter. One fateful evening, as Emma lay in bed trying to fight off sleep, she heard a faint rustling outside her window. Her room was on the second floor, and there was no way anyone could be outside. Still, the noise persisted, growing louder and more menacing. She mustered the courage to approach the window and pull back the curtains. To her shock, she saw a pair of glowing, malevolent eyes staring back at her from the darkness. They belonged to a grotesque figure with elongated limbs, hunched over like a creature from her nightmares. Frozen in terror, Emma watched as the figure extended a long, gnarled finger, pointing directly at her. Then, with a sinister grin, it mouthed the words, "I've been waiting for you, Emma." Panicked and trembling, she stumbled back from the window and screamed for her parents. They rushed into her room, but when they looked out the window, there was nothing there. No figure, no eyes, just the serene moonlit night. Her parents consoled her, chalking it up to an overactive imagination or perhaps a trick of the light. But Emma knew what she had seen, and it was all too real. Part 3: The Relentless Pursuit. As the days passed, Emma's nightmares intensified. The same eerie forest, the same malevolent figure, and the same sense of impending doom haunted her dreams. She was becoming a prisoner of her own mind, unable to escape the relentless pursuit of this nightmarish entity. Desperate for answers, Emma confided in her best friend, Sarah. Sarah, who had always been the rational one, listened with a concerned expression. She suggested they research the history of Willowbrook, thinking that uncovering some forgotten secret might help put an end to Emma's torment. Their quest for information led them to the local library, where they stumbled upon a dusty old book about the town's dark past. It contained stories of a mysterious cult that had once thrived in Willowbrook, conducting bizarre rituals deep within the very forest that haunted Emma's nightmares. Intrigued and disturbed, Emma and Sarah delved deeper into the book, learning that the cult had vanished under mysterious circumstances, leaving behind a trail of unsolved disappearances. As they read, a chilling realization washed over them. The forest in Emma's nightmares bore a striking resemblance to the one described in the book. Part 4: The Dark Ritual. Armed with this newfound knowledge, Emma and Sarah decided to visit the forest during the day, hoping to confront whatever malevolent force resided there. They packed their backpacks with flashlights, a small first aid kit, and a sense of trepidation that hung heavily in the air. The forest was unlike any they had ever encountered. The trees were twisted and gnarled, their roots snaking out like skeletal hands. An unnatural stillness filled the air, and even the birds seemed to avoid this cursed place. As they ventured deeper into the heart of the forest, they stumbled upon a clearing that sent shivers down their spines. In the center of the clearing was a crude stone altar, adorned with faded symbols that matched those described in the old book. It was clear that this was the site of the cult's rituals. Suddenly, a bone-chilling wind swept through the clearing, extinguishing their flashlights. In the darkness, they heard the unmistakable sound of footsteps approaching. Panic surged through Emma and Sarah as they fumbled for their flashlights and shone them towards the source of the sound. There, emerging from the shadows, was the same grotesque figure that had haunted Emma's nightmares. Its eyes gleamed with a malevolent hunger as it took slow, deliberate steps toward them. The girls were paralyzed with fear, unable to move or scream. Part 5, Confronting the Nightmare. As the figure drew closer, Emma's fear gave way to a burning anger. She couldn't let this creature torment her any longer. With a surge of determination, she grabbed a branch lying on the ground and lunged at the entity, swinging wildly. The makeshift weapon struck the figure, causing it to emit a bone-chilling scream that echoed through the forest. For the first time, the nightmare was the one retreating, fading into the shadows as if it were never there. Emma and Sarah stumbled back, breathing heavily. They had confronted the entity, and it had fled, at least for now. They knew they couldn't let it return and continue its torment. Part 6, Unveiling the Truth. With the newfound courage to confront their fears, Emma and Sarah decided to investigate further. They reached out to the elderly residents of Willowbrook, hoping to uncover any forgotten secrets about the cult in the forest. They discovered an elderly woman named Martha, who had lived in the town for decades. Martha shared her own unsettling encounters with the cult, describing how she had once stumbled upon their ritual in the forest as a child. She vividly remembered the same figure that had haunted Emma's nightmares. Martha explained that the cult had conducted dark rituals to summon a malevolent entity from another realm, hoping to gain unimaginable power. The entity had terrorized the town until a group of brave townsfolk had managed to banish it. Now, with Emma's courage and determination, they had the chance to put an end to this nightmare once and for all. Part 7, The Final Confrontation. Armed with knowledge and the support of the town's elderly residents, Emma and Sarah returned to the forest. They knew that the malevolent entity had been weakened by their previous encounter, but they also knew it wouldn't give up so easily. In the heart of the forest, they reconstructed the ancient ritual circle that the cult had used. Armed with candles, incense, and the resolve to banish the entity, they began the incantation they had discovered in the old book. The air grew thick with tension as they chanted the words, their voices trembling but resolute. Slowly, a dark presence began to manifest in the center of the circle. The entity, sensing their defiance, unleashed a torrent of dark energy, trying to break free.